Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what I just did and if I was wrong and what I would still be doing to make more money in the stock market. And like, what is my stock pick that I'm going for the upcoming year? So remember, I was really big on MicroStrategy. So I decided not to actually go into MicroStrategy itself. I went into MSTX, the leveraged ETF for MicroStrategy, like the 2x leverage. So obviously, if things go up, you're going to do really well. If things go down, you're going to get a booty pumped. But that's what I did. So I said I was going to gamble a little bit. So I put up $9,600 and I decided to sell a cash secured put, and I ended up getting $235 for the week. So that ends on Friday this week. I believe that's going to be the 20th. And let's just go into my desktop. So the current price of MSTX is $94.30. At the beginning of the week, like yesterday, what the heck was it? It was like 117, like 110 on Monday. So it dropped. It dropped a buttload, which is what I kind of like said, that this is a huge gamble, and I'm okay with doing it because it's only $9,600. I know that's a lot of money for a lot of people. It is a lot of money for me too, but at least I didn't like choose one of the strike prices that were like in the hundreds. So what I'm personally hoping on, right? I'm personally hoping that it does go back above 96 and I don't have to buy 100 shares of this on Friday. But if it does stay below it, I get to be on the covered call side starting next week. What I do hope is that this stock, MSTX, stays above $90 just so I could put out like a 96 or to break even on the trade, or 97 so I could at least gain some appreciation if the stock decides to go in a crazy upward movement towards 97, 98 again for next week. And like I said, I'm only playing these weekly, and this is strictly gambling because obviously I have no idea what MicroStrategy is going to do. I have no idea what MSTX is going to do because this is a leveraged fund. MicroStrategy is leveraged on Bitcoin. They took out debt to buy Bitcoin. So it's going to be super volatile. The premiums are going to be juicy. Just the predictions, you could look at the Bollinger Bands, and they're not gonna give you a lot. Like once it hit this top part of the first like standard deviation right here, it immediately dropped all the way to the bottom of the band as well. So it's like you cannot predict anything that's going to happen here with MSTX, MSTR. And the thing that's crazy is like Bitcoin's at 105,000. So obviously it's not at it's close to its all-time high because it just hit an all-time high. So like it's going to be weird with the volatility, which is fine. Like I'm in it for the long run. That's why I did one contract. I didn't do multiple contracts, so I'm cool with gambling this money away. I'm just hoping that certain price actions stay within like the range of where I bought my cost basis. But so like if I do have to buy this like starting next week, then I would have to do covered calls, which is fine. That's a whole point of the wheel strategy. And I would just put it probably like $1 above my cost basis if I'm able to get premium out of it. And that's what I'm going to continue to do until I make more money, until I get it called away from me. And then I'll reevaluate if I want to do that again, because obviously, you could make a lot of money, but is it worth it? And then what I would get into as well, someone always tells me go into MSTY, which is the yield max option, like income one. And the thing that everyone loves about these is the monthly dividend. So I think they're going to be having like a $2 dividend. Last month it was $4, and the month before that it was $4. And that's the thing that's also, everyone that tells me to go into MSTY, like the thing, it matters what type of gambling you want to do. So you could look like, yeah, it's been on a consistent climb, But like, look at these big divots too. You go all the way up from like 44 down to 19, back up to like 45 or something, and you're back down to 30s. Like, it's tough to predict. Like, yeah, the monthly dividend is beautiful. Like, if I put in like the 36,000 or 31,000 that I have available, and say I did that, so 36,000 divided by 36.85, 976 shares, 976. Like, let's say if the dividend was the same as last month, which was $4, I would get $3,904 in a dividend for holding this company for a month. And that is compared to almost $2,000 like in a month. Like, it is a really good money. I'm not going to knock anyone that does this, but like, the dividend does vary, so it is tough to make your strategy. Do I like not having to maybe do the call options, the cash secured puts and covered calls myself, because that's exactly what YieldMax is doing to generate the dividend for you. That's exactly what they're doing to get that type of dividend for you. Like, it just matters on what you want. So like, it's tough for like the same amount of money. I think I would double if I was to control the premiums myself, if I was to control the strike price myself. But it's also the peace of mind knowing that maybe someone else is doing it for you. But then again, you're not going to be able to control the price swings on either of these, like MSTY, MSTX, MSTR. You're not going to be able to predict those price swings, and that's what's going to be doo-doo for anyone that holds this. But like I said, I'm willing to gamble. That's why I'm doing MSTX, and I'm going to do covered calls with it for until I get it out of my portfolio. Then maybe some cash secured puts again, but maybe a little bit further out, maybe like a lot lower delta. But the stock that I am personally bullish on, and I'm going to start doing some leap options, that means buying call options a year plus out, is AMD. I'm really liking the second mover for AI, microchips, everything like that. I'm really liking it. I'm really liking how they're on like this downswing, to be honest. They've been up so high for so long, 172 in October, and now look at it, like 120s. That is crazy, and I believe there's a lot of value in this, and I believe there's a lot of growth that's going to be coming up within like the next few months to the next few years. Obviously, Nvidia, I'm not thinking they're capped out or anything. I'm just thinking that everyone, the way people are trading nowadays, are like, oh, that was like such a 2024 stock. What's going to be the next 2025? And the next best thing with the earnings and AI coming up big and everything that's coming out down the pipeline, I believe AMD is going to be that next mover, that second mover. Obviously, there's Broadcom, there's Meta, there's all these other ones that are making like AI chips. But in my opinion, the next best option to Nvidia, which is crazy that they're even dropping because their earnings was amazing, is AMD. And what I would do is I would be probably buying some year out call options, probably. And the way I do it is I always go for like a 70 delta. So let's just try to do this. Maybe January of next year. Let's look up for like a 70 delta. Oh, I'd go probably like this with 72 delta. I'd probably pay like $3,480, and then I would buy this and I would hold it till around like 2 to 3 months before expiration, and I should have a profit, and then I would sell to close, and I would get whatever profit there is from there. That's how I personally run leaps, like 70, 75 delta over a year out. Usually I do like a year and a half out, just because if you hold the leap for longer than a year, it's the long-term capital gains, and the way you kind of make money off leaps. The way you make money off leaps is you're either going to exercise it and get the 100 shares at this lower price that you chose, and then you could potentially capture the appreciation if you decided to sell all the shares, right? Or you could just sell the contract a few months out and then reap the benefits of that. That's what I personally do with all my leaps, and that's what's also grown my portfolio significantly. So you could do that, or you could just start doing like cash secured puts, what my bread and butter. You could do that of like 30 days from now, that's January 17th. I would probably choose, that's a 22 delta, 115. That's pretty amazing. 120, 33. I would do 115, and I'd collect $224 for a month, which is not bad. Let's do a calculation here. And how much is that for the month? What percentage is that? 224 divided by 11500. You're pretty much making 2% on the month, which is amazing. And why wouldn't you? Because AMD, again, for me, not financial advice, is a stock that I personally would want in my portfolio. I believe they're going to be like a $200-$300 stock in like the next 2 to 3 years. And you could potentially collect 2% every month doing this. And that's the beauty of cash secured puts and covered calls. And obviously, if it does drop below 110, because I'm bullish on this and I want the stock in my portfolio, then I would just be on the covered call side and just be playing the covered calls, and also not being scared not to sell it for a profit. That's the whole point of the covered calls. Like, don't continue to roll if you don't know what you're doing, because remember, this is like an income strategy, the wheel strategy. And that's where I'm going to leave you. This is where I am in my journey, because I personally want to just build my portfolio as big as possible. And that even if that means paying more taxes, that means selling my stocks, but that also means I'm doing the wheel strategy very efficiently and making a lot of money. But guys, if you loved what I've talked about here, and don't forget to check out the links down below, especially MooMoo. You get 15 free stocks just for funding the account. And if you just leave money in there, you're also getting like 8.1%. And the only thing that I ask of you guys is please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Especially drop the likes on this video, because that definitely gets these videos out to everyone else. And I want to teach everyone else how to make money, because I'm just a regular person just like you. I'm a nurse, and I just don't want to have to work so hard anymore. So that's what I'm getting at. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.